Alright, onward and upward, I suppose. So we have to go to Madoka's room. Shouldn't be too tough to navigate there. Tafia says, is the swapped A-B for confirm cancel related to reading left to right or right to left? Am I overthinking things? You are greatly overthinking things. It's just because in Japan, circle means you did a good job and X means you did a bad job. And in the West, people generally believe that X marks the spot. Ben asks, do I like Dementium? I played the original back when it first came out. I don't really remember too much about it. I remember it being really cool that there was a horror game on the DS like that. But I don't really remember too much about how it played. Taking unnecessary damage. It's fine, we have a bunch of healing meds. I need to stop being greedy and just take my shots where I can take them. Ben mentions Teresia. That game is very interesting. I never finished it. That's a game I'd love to play on the channel, but I had friends who loved it as a kid, and I borrowed it from them and played quite a bit of it before I had to give it back. Very helpful. That's a really useful, annoying sound to play. A great reward for me paying attention to the other really annoying sound that it was playing. This whole episode is going to take place just in these 2-3 rooms that we're in. That's Madoka's diary. Let's look around and make sure there aren't any other items to pick up before we immediately get destroyed by ghosts. Letter to Madoka. My darling Madoka, how are you? Did you choose a name for your new pet canary? He's going to be a lovely little friend for you. I'm sorry I can't visit you more often. Even when I'm not there, Madoka, you know I'm always thinking of you. I'll bring you some crayons next time I visit, okay? I know how much you enjoy drawing, so I'm sure you'll like them. The doctors say that doing the things you like to do is good for you. It helps you fight your sickness and get better. I mean, that's as good advice as any. So make sure you draw lots of pictures. I know it's scary when you can't remember things you want to remember, but don't forget, Madoka, you're a Tsukimori. You know that the Tsuki in our name means moon, don't you? That means the moon protects us and keeps us safe. So don't worry, Madoka. Do what Dr. Haibara says. Behave yourself and be a good girl. I'll visit you again very soon, Mommy. The measure upgrade, what does that do for us? Ooh. That'll be a nope from me, dog. Ooh, we got shotgun film. Hell yeah. Madoka's diary. August 9th. At nighttime, I know it's time for bed, but I get scared and I can't sleep. I get scared because when it gets dark, I see a face in the window. When I see my face in the window, my face is all wrong. My eyes are wobbly, my nose is bendy, my mouth is twisty. Inside, my head gets all twisty too. I want to forget about Ayako and all the other bad things, but instead the good parts go away, so I hope tonight I can sleep well. I really don't want a herbal medicine right now if immediately end the chapter, but maybe it's worth it just to have one. It's not like herbal medicine is that expensive. We can reach out to this. Fuck, I meant to go in the other room. How spooky. What was that? I don't know, man. Hold up, girl. I got items to rifle through in your personal room. Ah. Get out of here, ghost hand. I thought I let go quickly enough. Can I touch this again? I can't. There's a lot of reaching for Madoka in this game. Nurse's Logbook. July 19th, one item to report today. As before, the issue is with Ayako in room 207. At around 3 p.m., I heard Madoka crying, so I rushed to her room to check on her. When I got there, I found that her pet canary's head had been snipped off with a pair of scissors. Ayako was standing there with a pair of bloodstained scissors in her hand, so there's no question that she was responsible for killing the bird. I told her off as usual, but she just laughed at me. I got no sense that she had any appreciation that what she did was wrong. It's one thing to say that she can't tell right from wrong, but Ayako's behavior is just too much. I worry about her negative influence on Madoka and the other children, but in accordance with the director's wishes, we are unable to take any effective measures against Ayako's transgressions. Ben asks, has anyone here ever had a paranormal experience? I have not. I live in a very mundane and average reality. Raph says Okubo Atsushi should design a horror game. I agree. I love his cool like carnival horror aesthetic. I haven't actually read Soul Eater, but I really like the way it looks. What do we want to do? Where are we going? Investigate Ayako's room. Oh yeah, 207. Okay. Away we go. But yeah, I really like the fun macabre. Wow, that is a strong grade schooler. That is an impressive amount of strength. Holy smokes. But yeah, I really love like fun macabre, like the way Soul Eater looks. I love the way like Castlevania looks. Like the gallery of monsters is always fun. Yeah, this is a messed up bedroom for like a kid. I don't know if this is like a good kid's bedroom. Less arms maybe would be like a good start. Maybe some stuffed animals instead. Big huggies. Get out of here, Ayako. Little brat. Oh, God. Get fatal framed. What? Too close. Stranger danger. What? Wow, the game slowed to a crawl when I touched the hand, when it was like simulating the hand physics. That was really bizarre. No! Wrath asks, this is PS5, right? Yeah, I'm playing this on a PS5 right now. It's also out on PC, if you have a PC. But, and I think it might be out on the Switch? I'm not sure. It's gonna be a long fight, y'all. Get out of here, Ayako. Fight me, little girl. I showed you. Obviously, I've forgotten you. I have no idea who you are. That was a very sudden cut to black. Raph says, I never noticed Suda 51 is supposed to be Suda Goichi. Yeah, the 51 in his name comes from the fact that it's pronounced literally Goichi. It's technically not even 51, it's Suda 51, because if it was 51, it would be Gojuichi, which is also a name. I mean, Juichi being a name. Gojuichi, I don't know if that's actually a name. That would be kind of weird, but I'm sure you could write it if you wanted to.
Ruka があの島に行ってしまいました。あの島に。無理を承知でお願いします。ルカを助けてください。
Haibara's got a very effeminate face. All right. So, clipping from a newspaper article, missing girls found alive. The 5 girls who went missing 2 weeks ago were found alive at around 11 p.m. last night. The names of the girls are as follows. All are 7 years old. Aso Misaki, Nanamura Tomoe, Shinomiya Marie, Tsukimori Madoka, and Yomotsuki Ruka. The girls vanished during the accident-stricken Rougetsu Kagura, leading some to say they were spirited away. They were found in a cavern beneath Haibara Infirmary by Senior Officer Choshiro Kirishima of Amano-Uda Police Department, Criminal Affairs Division, who confirmed their identities. The police are focusing their investigative inquiries on the staff of Haibara Infirmary. We have a notepad that shows info about the people in this story. All right, The Lost Day. Fitting chapter title for a chapter that we almost played 15 minutes of while OBS had crashed.
神隠しにあったルカたちをこの病院の地下で見つけた。それで全てが終わったと思っていた。だが、あの時の5人のうち2人が死んだ。事件は終わっていないのか。
There's a voice coming from the well, but it disappeared now. Even Choshiro here walks incredibly slowly. Nice. Ben says, I haven't played this. Could you give a short synopsis like Fatal Frame 1? Do you want a synopsis of Fatal Frame 1 or a synopsis of this game so far? Because this game is not related so far to Fatal Frame 1 at all. Like, the first 3 Fatal Frame games are kind of their own thing. All right. The Spirit Stone flashlight uses a Spirit Stone to store moonlight and emits lights in blasts. You use it to attack ghosts. Press L2 to ready the Spirit Stone flashlight. While readied, press R2 and then release it to emit a blast of moonlight. The longer you hold R2, the larger the blast radius will be. All right, while we are doing this encounter, I can recap the Fatal Frame series. In Fatal Frame 1, two siblings go to a spooky house. It has ghosts in it, and they find a camera that lets them fight the ghosts. It's a camera that their mom once had, and their mother was a spirit medium. That's the end of Fatal Frame 1. Fatal Frame 2 involves 2 siblings that go to a village that has a cursed ritual for killing twins. It turns out that the twins are very spiritually potent, and they find a camera, and the camera lets them fight ghosts. So they fight ghosts, one of the twins dies, and the other escapes the village. That's Fatal Frame 2. Fatal Frame 3 involves all of the characters from Fatal Frames 1 and 2 experiencing the same nightmare. In this nightmare, they are chased by a woman with tattoos, which is the scariest thing you could possibly be in Japan. Eventually, they escape from this woman and then get to the bottom of a mystery, which involves this ritual where a woman is tattooed and then buried under a house. They free her spirit using the camera, and then the main character's dead boyfriend, who is a descendant of the man who made the camera, tells her to live her life, and that it's okay that he died and it's not her fault. And that's the end of Fatal Frame 3. This game is completely unrelated so far, the only connection being that Misaki is related to the dead fiancé from Fatal Frame 3, but it has made no actual connection there and has not really said anything about it, so you don't need to play any of the previous games to play this one. Sayaka said they might have already blossomed. What the hell happened to the people on this island? Does it have anything to do with Haibara being here? Something is lying where the ghost disappeared. All right. We're going to want to equip that camera lens so that we can take pictures with the flashlight when the wandering ghosts appear. We'll grab this. Cool. Ben says, you mentioned Pathologic earlier. What is that game? Oh boy, let me tell you about Pathologic. Pathologic is a first-person plague doctor simulator, sort of. It is a Russian video game developed in 2005 by Ice Pick Lodge. It is a game where you play as one of 3 doctors trying to solve an outbreak in a town. It is one of the most literary and also hardcore survival horror games ever made, and it is very, very good. And it got a sort of reimagining sequel called Pathologic 2 in 2019, and it is also one of the best survival horror games of all time. It is extremely good, and everyone should play it. It is very, very deeply worth playing. Alrighty. Gotta wait for the color balance. Asagi Hizuki. Hizuki Asagi, female, age 6. Room, old building, ward number 2. Reported symptoms include fear of mirrors and memory loss, pointing to prototypical Moonlight syndrome diagnosis. So to go over this again really quickly, Moonlight syndrome was Suda51's first debut as a director and writer of a game, I believe. It was a sequel. It's a threequel to the Twilight Syndrome series. Long story short, it is nothing like them. Twilight Syndrome was a ghost search urban legend series that plays out sort of like Goosebumps in a high school. Moonlight Syndrome is a cosmic horror about just the most nightmarish of circumstances. The cool thing about Moonlight Syndrome is that it takes all the Twilight Syndrome characters and kills them off very unceremoniously. And in fact, Suda built his long-running series off of Moonlight Syndrome, his series being called Kill the Past. In fact, the very first Kill the Past game, the Silver Case, begins at the end of Moonlight Syndrome, and that first person that you see in the road when you are playing as Kusabi is in fact one of the main characters of Moonlight Syndrome. So I knew that this game was going to try to loop this in somehow because it's important to all of Suda's works. Symptoms progressing at a moderate rate. Scheduled for surgical procedure next week under orders from director Haibara, procedure was previously performed on the 2 Moonlight Syndrome patients with more severe symptoms, producing no positive result. It is hoped that performing this procedure on a patient with relatively mild symptoms will lead to a development of a treatment for Moonlight Syndrome. Therefore, all involved are to take detailed notes and make appropriate reports afterwards. Note, the above is confidential. Do not disclose to patients or others. Ben asks, do I like Condemned? And I mean Condemned 1. I think the Condemned games are fine. No strong feelings. I played them back when they first came out. I think Condemned 1 was the game I got with my Xbox 360 back when I got it at launch. Graf says, I have Pathologic on PC, but the menus are glitching. What does that mean? Ben says, one of my favorite horror movies is Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's a cult classic. It's pretty crazy. Definitely one of the more influential Japanese indie films, that's for sure. Diary with pictures. They did surgery on me the other day. The other people who got the surgery didn't get better, so I said I didn't want to get the surgery. But the doctor told me it's okay. Since the surgery, it's all red inside my head, and I don't like it. My hair fell out too. That made me cry, but when I cried, there was blood in it. But Mama and the doctors say it's okay. My head is red and feels like it's melting. It hurts. Don't like it. I hope the pain melts away soon. Raph says the menus of the game do not open. They pop open for a single second and just close. Interesting. I've never encountered that. I have no idea what could be causing that. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Again, these shady ass pictures on the wall. What doctor thought it would be a good idea to put that stuff up? It's just cruel. Ooh, wow, the game chugs when it's trying to do cloth physics. Flat iron key. Found a small key wrapped in paper on top of the ashtray. The key is labeled Operation Prep Room. It's a map of the infirmary. Ben says, okay, I now believe that it's impossible for me to throw any kind of Japanese media reference question at you without you already knowing it, not in a bad way. To be fair, I have a degree in technical Japanese and work in the film industry, so Tetsuo the Iron Man is very much something that I would be aware of. Ooh, frame rate. Ooh, that's rough. Okay. Spirit Stone flashlight. Unequip that lens. Immediately go into shooter mode. Can I fatal frame with the flashlight? That'd be sick. Oh god. Doesn't look like I can fatal frame with the flashlight. Stop trying to gotcha me, game. I know how to equip something really quickly. Haibara's assistant's notes. In recognition of my fruitful research into the workings of the cranial nervous system, I've been assigned to work as an assistant to Dr. Shigeto Haibara at the Haibara Infirmary on Rougetsu Island. Dr. Haibara is the leading researcher of Moonlight syndrome, a condition peculiar to the Rougetsu Islands. So, of course, this does not take place in the Silver Case timeline because it's not taking place in the 25th Ward, but the documents I've read describe Moonlight syndrome as a composite mental disorder with curious symptoms such as sleepwalking and memory loss. Despite ongoing research, both the cause of the syndrome and the reason for its confinement to the Rougetsu Islands remains unknown. Dr. Haibara is currently working to discover the truth about the condition. He has taken a unique approach to treating Moonlight syndrome, incorporating the folklore of the islands. Treatments such as musical therapy using the traditional Rougetsu Isle moon sounds are unheard of in conventional psychiatry. I think Dr. Haibara's ideas are leading the profession in an exciting new direction. What, quack medicine? His research may not only cure Moonlight syndrome, but also help to unlock the mysteries surrounding the effect that memory has on the mind. It's fascinating. I have no doubt that working with Dr. Haibara will be a chance to gain valuable experience that simply can't be found on the mainland. Okay, can't use the iron key there. Guess we'll probably just have to go downstairs. Nice. All right, we got the photo and we're good. Gotta find the phone. Onaji nanda yo. What's repeating over and over, man? Just want to make sure we can't use the key over here before we move forward. That would be a no. I want the items in there, goddammit. Let me take the items, game. Yeesh. And I can't use it in here. Yeah, it's not the right key for it. Ben says, I know more about Japanese literature than film. Not a big deal. I'm a novelist. Oh, cool. Yeah, I had to read a lot of Japanese novels and do courses on Japanese lit in college. So I'm not the most well-read, but I am relatively well-read. Keith says, this is one of the more infuriating running animations I've seen. Yeah, this is a quick character running in this game. Oh, frame rate. Oh, it hurts every single time. I expect it every single time, and it's worse than I remember every single time it happens. We're getting close. Getting close here to what might be the end of this chapter? It feels like it's ramping up for like a big reveal. Oh, Night Blue, thanks for watching. One blue spirit stone. I definitely need to find my way to a save point here in a minute. That would be preferable. Okay, here we go. Ghost hand? Nope. Oh, come on. The last thing I wanted was to have to fight a little girl. Especially when I can't even fatal frame them. Okay, there you are. I told the doctor I don't like it, it hurts. Tomorrow, more surgery. It's making me bad. The surgery, more surgery. Tomorrow, more surgery. I don't like surgery hurts. Hurts, the surgery. It hurts me. Ow, ow, hurts. It hurts. Hurts me, die. Hurts, shirt, hurts, shirt. Dying, oh, whoa! She said, oh, whoa. You heard her. Postmortem. Hizuki Asagi. Time of death, 32 minutes past midnight. Circumstances of death. Condition deteriorated severely after second surgical procedure. Patient was tranquilized but suddenly became deranged during the night. Doctor provided immediate emergency treatment to no effect. Patient died soon after. Cause of death unknown. Possible death due to weakness brought on by sudden worsening of Moonlight Syndrome symptoms.
治療のため
Apollo says, I had to take care of things that made me late, but I made it. I'm going to have to jump here pretty soon because I am trying to make it in time for the group stream that we'll probably do later with Keith. Not later, but... Okay, cool. I got it. Oh. I still had that equipped, I guess. So it doesn't really matter? I guess I can just take pictures of ghosts like that and it's fine? Do I even need to unequip the lens? Haibara Assistance Notes. I've been observing cases of Moonlight Syndrome at Haibara Infirmary. The moment I first laid eyes on one of the patients, a ghastly thrill traveled up and down my spine. This syndrome is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And in this line of work, I've seen more than my fair share of unusual and disturbing things. Moonlight Syndrome presents symptoms of memory fragmentation along with deterioration of the sense of self. I lost my place entirely, resulting in destruction of the sufferer's personality. In advanced stages, it leads to total amnesia and unresponsiveness, and it is ultimately fatal. But apparently, most patients choose to end their own lives before the symptoms can progress to those final awful stages. Watching as these poor bastards have their memories taken away from them as they break down and are consumed by little, it's so horrible, one trembles at the sight. I wouldn't wish Moonlight Syndrome on my worst enemy. No one should have to feel themselves slip away into the darkness. Seeing it for myself, I have a renewed sense of urgency regarding my work here. Dr. Haibara is treating Moonlight Syndrome as a special kind of local endemic disease, but he hasn't yet been able to grasp the nature of the condition or develop a reliable method of treatment or cure. His focus is on medication combined with surgical procedures and folk medicine as a means to combat this condition. I'll learn more details about the different kinds of treatment tomorrow. I just hope one of them can be developed into a cure, and we can finally wake these people from their nightmare. Interesting. Small iron key. Found a key beside the notebook. Okay, great. Okay, and we can use that to get to that other section of the hospital that we weren't able to get to before. That's great. My goal right now is to pick up as many items as we possibly can and find a save point. Oh, it's the Kagura flyer. Once every 10 years, in the month of September, a very important ceremony takes place on Rougetsu Isle, main island of the Rougetsu Islands. This is the Rougetsu Kagura. The Rougetsu Kagura is a representation of a means of direct communication between the living and the dead. Its origins are uncertain, but the people of Rougetsu Isle have carried it down through the ages as a way to honor the deceased. A maiden called the Vessel dances herself into a trance to the accompaniment of music played by 5 girls called organs. The dance continues well into the night. Not only the Vessel and the organs wear masks during the Kagura, all those present as observers wear masks and hold candles while watching the ceremony. As the island's most important festival, the Kagura calls those born on Rougetsu Isle home every 10 years. They are said to make the journey no matter how far away they live. Once accessible only to such natives, the Kagura was opened to visitors 30 years ago and is now the central tourist attraction on the island.
灰原は祭りの日にこの島に帰っていたのか。神楽はこの島の人間にとって大切なもの。そういえば、今日も祭りの日か。この島から人が消えてなければ。
Ben says, my favorite Japanese authors, while basic but still classic, are Dazai Osamu, Kunikida Doppo, Akutagawa Ryunosuke, Soseki Natsume, and Nakajima Atsushi, as well as some more. Yeah, I've read a little bit of every single author there. I've read a lot of Akutagawa. Oh my god. I let go of the button before the ghost even appears. It happens every time. I don't understand why I still get grabbed by it. I'm very confused by this mechanic. But yeah, I read a lot of Akutagawa, a lot of Natsume, Soseki, definitely a lot of Osamu Dazai. I think I had to read No Longer Human probably 4 separate times in college. Oh, Kyusaku Yume no. That's interesting. It's a little bit deeper. Spooky. The game's jump scares are a little bit defeated by the fact that the game needs to load them in. My favorite Japanese author is not a horror author, but I really, really like Tomihiko Morimi. Morimi Tomihiko. I do. I very much love Tatami Galaxy. Tower of the Sun is also very, very good. Informer's report. I am associated with Haibara Infirmary, and I want to make the truth known about the recent disappearance of those girls. As I was walking in the infirmary grounds, I heard the sounds of children's voices coming from the well. At first, I thought I was hearing things, but the voices became more and more distinct. They weren't just crying as normal children do when they fall or lose sight of their parents in a crowded place. It was an altogether more hollow, terrible sound. It's them, the girls who vanished, I'm sure of it. I can't keep quiet about this anymore. If you don't act now, it will be too late. Those girls are being consumed even as I write this. I beg you, conduct a search of Haibara Infirmary as soon as possible. Callus says Night on the Galactic Railroad was the only Japanese book I've read. I love Night on the Galactic Railroad. Did it just save? It seemed like it just gave me a I saved thing. Come on. So if it looks like I'm doing something weird with the camera, it's because I'm trying to get whatever item is here to show up. Is it over here? Yeah. Wow, spooky. We're so scared. There you go. Oh, this is a long one. Rougetsu disappearances. We delve into the darkness behind the mysterious Rougetsu disappearances. 6 months have passed since the mass disappearances on Rougetsu Isle. With the investigation stalled, the incident is on the verge of being forgotten, but we have uncovered a sinister history that could be the key to solving the mystery. The bizarre illness Moonlight Syndrome. We first focused our investigation on Moonlight Syndrome, a condition unique to the Rougetsu Islands. According to the medical expert we contacted, it is a type of amnesia with unusual additional symptoms, such as sleepwalking, and sufferers acting as though possessed by some force. The disaster of Rougetsu legends returns. Folklorists familiar with the history of the islands say that this sickness has long been feared as a plague, so its reach clearly extends beyond the present-day incident into the island's murky past. Legend also tells of a strange incident in which over half of the inhabitants of Rougetsu Isle vanished. Moonlight Syndrome en masse? What if Rougetsu disappearances were caused by an endemic outbreak of Moonlight Syndrome? The island is surrounded by a vast ocean. One doesn't like to linger too long on the fate of those wandering outside, blissfully unaware of their surroundings. Tourism efforts curse the land? Some islanders were opposed to turning the Rougetsu Kagura, a ceremony that was supposed to appease the souls of the dead, into a tourist attraction. Could the real root of this bizarre case be the shallowness of those who tried to turn a sacred ceremony into a commercial spectacle? Death of the Last Witness. Our only remaining lead was the last living witness to the incident, a young girl. Sadly, she died in the hospital several days ago. Reports say she used her final breath to cry out for her mother. What did this poor girl see on that fateful day? The answer is known only to the now abandoned Rougetsu Isle. Narik says, it looks like the others have started streaming if you were planning on joining them. I know. I will. I messaged them on Discord. I'll join them in a bit. I can unfortunately only do so much. Oh god. Instant death attack. Frame rate corridor. Apollo asks, how do we like the frame rate, or how do we like the combat in this one so far? The frame rate's pretty rough. It definitely makes fighting harder when you're going through transitions like that. But overall, it's fine. It's not bad. Oh my god. Get out of here, lady. Oh boy. No more ghosts. Alright, we're good. Apollo says, I assume that means we can't find an FPS patch. I'm playing on PS5, man. I wish we could patch this game. Gotta find another way to go down there. Oh no, my actual worst nightmare. Exactly what I did not want to happen. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to kill them and not accidentally die. Because that would be not good for me. Because there's a save point right here that I was trying to get to. Get out of here, man. There we go. Run! Ah! Ben says, I had a book published in Japan. Sick. Nice. Woo. We made it. We survived. We didn't die. That was rough. Save.